Guys, I've had a request to do an add-on to my previous video called how to stitch uniformly and neatly, I think it's called. I'll put a link to it in the description. But I've been asked to show how to do that technique going down and up and all different kind of directions. So I'm just going to demonstrate how I do that. So if you want instructions on how to cross stitch so everything's neat, like here, this is a project I'm doing at the moment. Follow the link in the description. But this is how you do it in all sorts of different directions, so you can go all different directions with this technique. So this is not going to be the best video, but to the viewer who requested this, I just thought it would be easier to show rather than explain it in words. So I'm just going to start it up. Oops. It's also a bit difficult to do this with the camera in front of me. I usually work in a much more comfortable setting. So I'm just going to start off here. Now I'm not really following a pattern with this project. I've stopped following patterns quite a while ago. I also work with a lot of long strings, so I'm going to have some tangles once in a while. So I've got a bit of a freedom to show how this is done. So just like with my previous video, just doing it sideways. I tend to do things sideways more than up or down because that's just a habit I have. But say I want to head downwards. Let's see, just so this isn't such a long video. If I want to start heading down this way, I'm always going to keep in mind of the direction that the stitches are going to. So it's going from left top to right bottom. So I don't have to complete that stitch just yet, but if I want to head down, I can cross that one here to head down. So that one there is already crossed. I don't worry about this because I'm going to do more stitches there anyway. That one is not crossed yet. But say if I want to continue going down and then get back to that one, I'll just start doing my stitches downwards. I can go all sorts of different directions as well. The trick to this technique is you have a bit of flexibility if you veer off to a different direction. Say I've gone up here and I want to fix that bit. You can't go from up here back to here because then the stitch will go there. So you'll always have to backtrack that way, if that makes sense. But say now I made this little error. I came up here when I wasn't supposed to, but I still need this stitch to be this colour. You basically have to remember where you've done your stitches. I'm going to do that one. Now if I want, I can cross that one, and I'm going to show you this little trick. So I've come here, I can cross that one, and if I want to complete this one for whatever reason right now, I can. Now you might be thinking, well, if I complete this one, my stitch will be on this side, and how am I going to get to those? So I'll just show you something real quick. Because we're hiding the stitches or the lines under the stitches, we can continue doing that. Always use enough thread to cover the whole cloth anyway. Just going to push that in to make that neat. So I'm going to cross there. And you're going to see how there's going to be a bit of a conundrum, which we're going to fix. So now, if I were to try to cross that, it's not going to work, because that one is already all crossed. So we don't want to double up. But what you can do, just like when you start and end, you can just pass the stitches under the cross, like that. That one's all crossed and done. And lo and behold, I'm on this side again. So now, if I want to finish these ones off, I'm not sure if I'm explaining this alright, or if I'm even answering the first question. So now I can cross all this. So you just have to be aware of where your thread needs to be for you to do the crosses. So now I can just complete these if I want. I'm not going to really edit this video because I don't have the time, and also no longer have the software I used to have. A lot of changes and ups and downs in my life, and some things have disappeared and whatnot. So I'm always constantly fixing up stitches if it's not to par. But right now I'm not in the best position to do it, so my stitches aren't going to be the best. It's always good to do this in a comfortable position where you can visibly see it. So all of those stitches now are crossed. No, I've just realised here I've crossed these the wrong way. You can see straight away that that's no good. So I'm just going to go back. You know, sometimes you will make mistakes, especially if you're not paying attention. So I have to cross those ones properly, don't I? So it's basically, because I'll call this just extra techniques without any editing. So I need to fix that cross as well. So this is basically just how I would cross stitch if I'm not paying attention. I'm just backtracking here. Nothing you can do is just remove the needle and just pull out the thread. But this is like my lazy approach. So to do this one, I want the stitches to go the right way. So I'm going to bring it, the needle under. Like so. I thought those stitches were looking a bit weird, but doing this looking through a camera, not my hand, so that makes it a bit trickier. And now I can go underneath the stitch so it's all the right way. Is that right? Yep. Always double check. And this is by no means a fast way of doing it, but it's a neater way of doing it. So if I want to continue going down, now I'm going to just now stitch in all different directions so you can just see how I do it. So now I'm going to go here, look like a diagonal, because sometimes you're going to get things like that. This is going to complicate my life a little bit because I could have just done this whole block going across all the time. For demonstration purposes, let's just do different directions. So you can do diagonally like that. And again, just see, I need, if I'm going to top left to bottom right, so we're going to go underneath. We're not going downwards, we're going upwards here. Just pay attention. Just cross is going to be on that square, so I've got to make sure. Now I can just cross through normally. My cloth is a bit weird there. I've got to make a hole. And I'll do it here as well. Got to pass underneath. Sorry that's not centered all the time. It's a bit difficult to do this and record. I kind of just want to get this video out quickly. My toddler has just put herself to sleep, so it's the opportunity I have. Okay, so say I still need to fill up this, but I still have to cross that stitch there. I won't go and cross that one because then the string will be there. I'll then start doing this again. Well, let's head upwards, remembering that that's not crossed just yet. And I'll come up here. That way I can also hold onto that string, embroidery floss, tack it in. So you can go all different directions with this. All you have to do is, the main thing is just to be aware of where your string is gonna end up, what direction your stitches are going. So now we're gonna just cross them. And like while I'm here, so I'll cross that one. And instead of going downwards to cross these, I'm now gonna continue some here. Yes, so just be attentive, aware. You're going what's been crossed, what hasn't been crossed. And if you can do that, then you can go all different directions and do all sorts of things. And then if you do get stuck, you can always go underneath the other stitches. And let's say I want to, okay, let's make a tricky bit. So I've got that. I'm gonna do this one, but then I want a stitch there, but I don't want one there. So, but all of these haven't been crossed yet up here. It's going to be a bit long because I'm not going to cut it. Apologies. So as I do that, to get there I'm going to have to cross, so I'm going to go underneath. Like so. And cross that. And now I can do this side here. So that one's crossed. That one's crossed. These ones are not. So to get here I had to cross that. Now I can continue here. Just do these stitches. It's good to sometimes watch uncut videos as well, because then you can see the techniques people have in real time. Because the thing is with editing videos, you can always cut out all your mistakes. So the mistake I did before by crossing it the wrong way, if I were editing this video, I'd just remove that bit. I'd just do it again. But this way you can see that people do mistakes. I'm going to cross that one as well. That's all I'm here. I am using a lot of strands, so it makes things a little trickier at times. I wanted this one to pop out a bit, so that's why I use that many strands. So I've done this one underneath. So I know this one's crossed, that one isn't, so I'm going to come back here. The thing with cross stitch is it's good to know the theory. It's good to know, how to do things when they get tricky. But what you really want is also to practice. Put yourself in tricky situations. Put yourself in directions that aren't as simple, and see if you can problem solve those. Because, kind of making cross stitch sound a little bit, I don't know. What's the word? Special than what it really is. Okay, problem solve, troubleshoot, like a computer. But it really is. Because you sometimes are going to get tricky stuff, and you don't want to constantly be starting and stopping your stitches, because that'll be annoying. And I've developed my skills just based on laziness, of not wanting to thread the needle again, or not wanting to start again. So, you get a bit lazy, I suppose. Even though to do it neatly, you do need a bit of patience. Patience and laziness. Combo of those. Occasionally you will get knots, especially if your string is so long as mine is. It's a bad habit I have, actually, so I don't have to keep changing it. Yeah. Just get rid of knots as you go. The string is also twisting a bit, which is changing the look of it. That's the one. Always make sure you're doing the correct square. It has happened before in the past where I started doing one square and it ended up being a different square. Just because I didn't pay attention enough. And come under here. So obviously if you do a row or a column where it's all, the first stitch is all going the wrong way, it's going to take a bit longer. So you then have to pass them all underneath. But you do want to keep that all uniform. Okay, so here's back to that spot where I went across. So these are all the half stitches. I went down, the needle came through there. So I've created the whole stitch, so I need to come here, went all the way down, did that one there as well, come all the way up, and now I'm back here. Well, I can just skip this square, so I'm finishing this one off here anyway, and bring it up to this square. And now I can finish these ones. So I've completely skipped that one, but still being neat at the back. Everything's going the same direction. That's what you want. You want it to lie flat. You don't want it to be too bulky at the back. And I'm just going to finish these off. So I hope that was demonstrated well enough. If you want, you can just go and back and view it again until it makes sense. These things are sometimes difficult to explain without having the person right here and, and showing them one-on-one. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and finish these. Yeah, well, they really have to finish these on camera. It's pretty straightforward. Just finishing these crosses and letting them go the same direction. But yeah, so that's basically how you do it. So you go in all different directions. I know it doesn't look very neat here because I haven't finished these ones off. Yeah, actually I'll go finish those ones off so you can see how I get back to those. And also the string has started twisting a bit. Usually what I do, I pin it down and let it untwist itself as I go along, but I just didn't want to spend too much time doing this video. Where are we? Almost 20 minutes in. Because my problem isn't making a long video, my problem is then uploading it. See, I live in Australia and upload speeds are pretty bad. I don't want to get too political, but we have really bad internet in Australia. So just so the world knows. Come to Australia. Our internet is like as quick as everywhere else 10 years ago. Okay, so that one is crossed, so always check. This one isn't. So I'm finishing this stitch up here, 'cause that's where it finishes. And I'm bringing the needle down here. And the stitch has to go this way. So yep, I can now come here. So I've crossed everything else in the meantime. And when you first start going in all sorts of different directions, I'd probably set yourself for only a few stitches where you go different directions, because you can lose track very easily. And especially like when I do it, I will go in diagonals and then start then go up here, and then I'll end up down there, and then I'll have, like, for example, this one here, there's a lot of half stitches there. They're going to be full stitches, but you know, I'm going to come back to it, and there's one full stitch there. So I'm used to just leaving things half done and then getting back to it, and it's easy for me to detect when a stitch needs to be crossed, whereas a beginner might not see that, especially amongst all of that, and especially if you're using a lot of strands. But I'm going to come here and finish this bit off, you know, just for a nice conclusion. And got one stitch there that needs to be done. Go. And then that one there. The cloth doesn't have proper holes. I'm going to kind of make up one. This cloth was pretty cheap, so so that's all of them done. I'll go in the same direction. This one here is the string got a bit twisted, so I have to kind of fluff it up a bit to look the same as the rest. Now, just as an addition, although I was ending this video, but you know, I've been getting a lot of questions since the first video, the cross stitching video. So if I have my string here, and for example, for any reason I want to go back there, even if this is a different colour, I'll say that this row is different colour, because with cross stitching you do want to fill out the entire square. Like, you don't want to see full crosses, you want to see it all filled out, and that's the way I cross stitch anyway. That's why in this one I'm using so many strands, because the square itself is quite big. You can always go underneath the stitches like you do when you start it and you end it. The string will be covered. I'll just pull that through. It's getting a little twisty again. And then you can continue on onto that side. Well, I can hear my toddler calling, so I hope that helps. If you have any other questions, feel free to answer me. I'll get to it as soon as I can, even with my busy schedule, and hopefully I can then either verbally explain it to you or demonstrate it like in a video like this. But I hope this has answered a few questions that are out there. If not, or if you want me to verbally explain a bit in this, just let me know. Until whenever. Bye.